how did you go from what you saw as the reformer in the rehabilitation studio to what you built today, to where you have a whole studio of group reformers? You also use the connectors, which we'll talk about. All your machines have been adapted. Same here at the farm. You use the OOV a lot in conjunction with your reformer classes and some special classes. Talk a little bit about that evolution of how you went from just the reformer in a PT clinic to what you developed.
Yeah, and part of that, it's interesting because my the first place that I worked as a physical therapist in a larger facility, it was within a gym, but we still only had one reformer. And so it was, you couldn't really teach a group class with one reformer. When I opened up my first studio location, it was set up in a way that really, it was really chopped off, which was great. You'd have private areas, but I didn't have this one large room to be able to, have all of these machines. And so I kind of made do with what I can. I had two reformers, a trap table and a chair in one room. So we would do a little trio or a little, duets and such, so that we can actually get people sort of like, you guys are both doing the same thing. There's that sense of, it's not, competition isn't the right word. It's a sense of you're in the same vibe. You guys are both like synced up. You're doing the same type of thing and the same energy. When I acquired the space that I'm in now, on the other side, another area in Alameda, that actually had a large open area. And that's what I specifically wanted. And I have to say, the moment we moved there, my business transformed. My business completely transformed. It went from this, kind of, I'm doing things. It was kind of small potatoes, to all of a sudden it was like, wow, I am impacting a lot of people's, I am a force in this neighborhood. And it was simply for that reason that you mentioned, the ability to be able to reach multiple people in your 1 hour of time. Because let's face it, I love to teach privates. I love to do one-on-one, but it's kind of trading time for dollars. And when you can actually create an opportunity to scale yourself and to reach a larger group of people, which the group classes did, and also online teaching virtually has enabled me to do, it's like, it really changes the game in terms of, I think, how I feel that I can impact people. And also, I think they don't all have to see me if they've got something going on that's a little bit extra from the reformer. It's like, oh, there's this other PT here in my office, or, oh, you are somewhere else. Hey, I have a resource for you over there. So it's just, we have this network, and it's just wonderful to be able to, to share that.
Yeah, I'm looking, thank you. I'm looking at some of these answers, and, one of the things that impresses me, I've seen a couple of them pass through, is talking about the ease of the introduction of movement, or facilitating movement in a safer space. It's an easier space. You can control things like speed. You can progress quickly. You can make the proprioception less challenging or more challenging. These are all features that, for me, I realized very early that the reformer was built to be able to assist people that couldn't do the mat work. If you couldn't hold your legs up in the 100 position, we can put your feet in straps, and we can put on just enough springs to take out the load so you can do the exercise correctly. But as we progress to get towards being able to do 100 or hip circles or leg circles or the other exercises. And that just made so much sense to me as a rehabilitation practitioner, to be able to have, and you use the word a playground, almost like for us to go in and create these assistive environments to be able to progress people through graded load, graded proprioception, graded challenge, graded tempos, to be able to make, great things come to pass. What are some of your favorite things, Ada, about the environment?
I think it's one place where people have the opportunity to feel graceful because they're supported. And I think that's why feet in straps, baby. I do not dare teach a class. I do not dare let them leave without, I've tried, and oh my gosh, it's like we actually had to go back and sit down and do it because they were revolting. You know, it's the place where they feel like they have control of the movement. And what's wonderful is that we can still, for the beginner, we can, like you said, we can modify, you know, maybe they can't tolerate having their legs all the way straight and they've got some neural tension. No problem. We can load up more spring and put it around their, you know, put it around their thighs. And, you know, it's kind of funny because I always hated physics when I was in school. I just couldn't stand it. And really, you know, working with the equipment, we're dealing with physics every day, but it doesn't feel like physics. It just feels fun, you know, and you can see these angles of pull and you start to appreciate just through using it, how like, ah, yes, I can see that we have a shorter lever here. We need to spring more there. And, but at any rate, I think really the biggest thing is just people feeling like they can move. And back to your study that you were saying, I think that with that fear, it's like they're moving, but they're moving in a way that feels, like I said, they're being nurtured, they're being supported in some way if they need to be. But for those, you know, I teach a Pilates for athletes class. It really should be Pilates for aging athletes because everybody's well over the age of 50, but they were all athletes and still are. But it's like, you know, being able to sort of do the things that feel athletic, but they also very much revel in the stuff that's the more basic and the more fundamental, because they realize in how it feels in their body that they can feel like their you know, femoral head massaging their, you know, the socket, you know, and really actually having that awareness that they didn't have before because they were just powering through and bulldozing through their exercises.
Exactly.